Hey guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a best of one standard event with a Boros Aggro deck. This is kind of the deck I've been using just to rank up on ladder, and although it doesn't have that many, I guess if any, sort of new cards here from the new set, this is just kind of what I've been using just to kind of grind ladder. So excited to see how it does. Was doing a fair amount of this sort of before the new set came out, and let's jump into it. All the links are going to be in the description for win rate statistics, all the playlists, and then if you'd like to subscribe, and the top pinned comment will be as well. All right, so this deck is very low to the ground. It has an average mana cost of 1.5, 20 lands, and this is kind of sort of like the Boros Mobilize deck that was using some of the kind of higher end mana cost creatures like Howl Squad Heavy, even as much as, you know, the Osier Axonil. But this is just kind of shifted down on the mana curve just to see if we can make it a little bit faster. So I took those cards out. We do still keep 2 copies of Warleader's Call, which is incredibly powerful with Mobilize. Specifically with Voice of Victory, which has Mobilize 2, and also Stadium Headliner, which has Mobilize 1. So, yeah, whenever a creature that you control enters, this enchantment deals 1 damage to each opponent, and then all of your creatures get +1/+1. For our 1-drops, we have 15 1-drops. We've got a full play set of Lightstall Inquisitor, just a really great way to kind of get the opponent to falter on mana. 3 copies of Veteran Survivor. This is as sort of a nod to the Graveyard Recursion decks. A full play set of Hired Claw, just a fantastic 1-drop, and a full play set of Stadium Headliner, which can also act as pseudo removal. For the 2-drops, we have full play set of Voice of Victory, just to turn off opponents casting spells on our turn. Also has Mobilize 2. And then we've also got a full play set of Searslicer Goblin. So this has Raid, which is a 2/1 for 2. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. So typically you play a 1-drop on turn 1, attack in, and then play this turn 2 to get a free 1/1 at the end of the turn. And then we also have a full play set of Frontline Rush. This is an instant for red and white. You can either create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, or you can give target creature +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. This is also fantastic with Mobilize. So it's not uncommon if you're using this as kind of like your final finisher to give, you know, anywhere from +3/+3. I've seen all the way up to like +10/+10 with this. So it can get really big and out of hand. For our removal suite, we have a full play set of Seam Rip, which is just fantastic against pretty much everything out there. A full play set of Burst Lightning, which can also go face in the late game. And then 3 copies of Sheltered by Ghosts, which is kind of a nod to all the other creature decks, staying ahead on life total, which is pretty important since we have a lot of pain lands. And then we have kind of the pseudo removal in Stadium Headliner. And that's kind of the deck. For the mana base, we've just got 20 lands. I didn't use any kind of utility lands. For a while I was using Delcaven Encampment, but there were enough times where you just kind of have awkward starting hands where it stumbles, where I just wanted access to perfect mana, or as close as I could get to it. So with that said, we've got a full play set of Starting Town, Multiversal Passage, Sacred Foundry, and Inspiring Vantage, which can all give both colors of mana on turn 1. And then we've got 2 basic mountains and 2 Sunbillow Verges. So access to 18 sources of red and white on turn 1. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Kind of the whole plan with this is just to, you know, again, lower the mana curve from the traditional sort of Boros Mobilize deck and just go a little bit faster. All right, opener is great. Any 2-land hand you will keep, ideally. So happy to keep this one. Okay, they've got Scavenger, and against mono white auras, you really do kind of want to respect their scavengers and just deal with it immediately. Otherwise, they can get into a position where they can put on like Shelter by Ghosts, and we're just not able to interact. So even though they can use Seam Rip to kind of, you know, move things back and forth, I think it's important here just to get rid of it ASAP. If we can buy even a little bit of time to develop, I think it's pretty important. Okay, they are playing the Seam Rip game. But this does mean that they don't play Shelter by Ghost at least this turn. So now we can go with like double Inquisitor. I wouldn't play like a 2-drop here just in case, because they probably have either another Seam Rip or Sheltered by Ghosts. We could kind of run like one Headliner out in case we don't think we're going to draw a third land to be able to try to kill their Scavenger. But I think that might be a little bit optimistic. So let's just go with double Inquisitor and kind of give them a little bit of extra headache with mana cost on everything. We just want to stall them as long as possible to kind of start buying time with like Searslicer and creating sort of a wall of tokens. This is a tough matchup, but there's no two ways about it. Okay, if they attack here, I guess they're representing that they have Shard Mages, so I guess they don't have it, which is great. I think if they had it, they would have attacked, and given that, I think it's probably right to Shelter by Ghosts here. They could potentially blow us out, but I think it's worth just based on how they played. We could also like use this to get the Seam Rip, which might be a little safer. It's close to the same, but if in case this dies, yeah. It also gets rid of one more of their enchantments. All right, they stayed patient, and they did have the Shard Mage's Rescue, so I guess that was a whiff. Yeah, my thought was based on how they played. They maybe didn't have it, but I guess they did. So now we can just use Searslicer Goblin to start creating a wall of blockers. And if they're able to jump it with their, you know, whatever, it's the thing that gives +1/+0 in flying, that's a problem. But I think that's probably our best bet right now. And they do have Sheltered by Ghosts. That's rough. We can create a couple more blockers here and just try to buy a little bit of time. If we can find another Seam Rip potentially and then just get the whole thing, that'd be great. But yeah, we're definitely in trouble right now. I think we'll take the hit from the Survivor and then just try to buy time. Question is, do we want to try to just trade with this 2-1? It's probably not amazing. I guess depending on how they put tokens on next turn, they might put it like on the 5-4. But I think just like lowering the number of their creatures is probably a decent idea. Although we could just play these 2 out and just sit. Because I'm not so worried about their life total. It's just kind of a matter of if we can draw the card that can deal with their Scavenger. And they got another Sheltered by Ghosts. That's rough. Okay, have to block here. Can also just drop to 1. If they have flying, like, we're dead anyways. So I think just drop into 1 is fine here. Unless they have Shard Mages, in which case it's GG. Yeah. They just kind of had more Seam Rips and Sheltered by Ghosts than we did. And that seems to be kind of like, for this match, what's important is who has the most Seam Rips and Sheltered by Ghosts. So yeah, the other way you could play that is just try to save your Seam Rips and Sheltered by Ghosts as late as humanly possible. But it is a little dangerous because they can get into a situation where if they have like multiple ward, it makes it really hard to deal with them. So maybe that's how we should have tried to attack the last match, is just hold our removal as long as possible. Okay, what are we up against here? Let's see, do we want extra white or extra red? It's a pretty even split. Guess I'll go for an extra white. I suppose actually we might want extra red since this takes red to activate. It's pretty close. Here I'm just going to play a second Hired Claw over leveling the first one. Actually, never mind. I should have played Searslicer Goblin there, in hindsight. This is okay, but I think this would have been a better use of mana. So it could be Golgari, could be Reanimator. I've seen kind of sort of more decks with like Delian Fell cropping up, just sort of Golgari value decks. All right, now let's go ahead and get the Searslicer going. Yeah, and Searslicer is pretty good against Strategic Betrayal since we've got these tokens. So it looks like it is probably Reanimator. Yeah, there's the Bookworm. Let's see if they have Bringer for their yard. If they do, we're definitely in trouble. Okay, no Bringer. Good news there. We're not so worried about our life total here. We just want to have access to as much mana as possible. I guess we Seam Rip here, and then... yeah, I suppose we can just play this tapped then. And then we'll just level up our Hired Claw and kind of hold everything else. Hopefully we can use Frontline Rush to push for game on our next turn. Use Shelter by Ghost to kind of clear the way if they have anything. Yeah, Insight's not going to do it. If we happen to draw like a Voice of Victory, it's kind of nice to like play that first in case they are holding up sort of like any kind of removal, so we can stop them from interacting with Frontline Rush. Okay, they've got another Bookworm, and that should be game. All right, it's going to do it. Yeah, luckily they did not have the Bringer into the yard on turn 2 or turn 3. Okay, opening hand looks great. Gonna Multiversal Passage for red and lead out here with a Headliner. And then we've got our choice of Voice of Victory or Searslicer Goblin for next turn, depending on what they do. I think if we see blue mana, we'll probably go for the Voice of Victory. Although if they just like leave blue up, then we would probably play the Headliner to play around the 1 mana counter. Okay, here happy to lead out with Voice of Victory. Typically they don't run like Impractical Joke or anything like that, so we're gonna have a tough time killing this. If this is like Izzet Prowess, probably, or Spellementals, they could maybe bounce it. So are they going to bounce or maybe develop some otters? Possibly set up a Slick Shot. Okay, I guess they're just digging for land. Here we can just start setting up. I don't think we need to worry about Slick Shot. They don't have like enough mana to kill us next turn, so we can just play out our creatures. Now we've got a pretty impressive board. Could push for a lot next turn. If they pain for land, we could almost kill them here. Let's see, 3, 5, 7, 8. Plus another 7 is 15. So I guess we have lethal if they don't do anything. Yeah, if they're just digging and don't actually kill anything, we should be in good shape. All right, and that is lethal. All right, on to the next. So yeah, I really like Frontline Rush. It can do a lot of work in this deck. Okay, opening hand looks good. We got land stuff to do. Now the question is if we want to lead out with Inquisitor or Hired Claw. I think usually, like, if we think we're going to play Inquisitor on 2, if we don't have like a really strong play for turn 2, I like to lead out with Hired Claw. That way, if it's like a control deck and they were going to play a tap land anyways, we don't really gain much by playing this on turn 1. Like, if we knew they were going to be aggro, we'd probably play Inquisitor first. Alright, so mono green Landfall. I think we just want to get starting towns down just to make sure we have access to all of our mana on time. Try to hang on to the rush, and yeah, just get Inquisitor going. It's a little bit better than growing our Hired Claw, I think. Might even cause him to stumble a little bit. Ooh, and that's a nice pickup. Warleader's Call here is very strong. Okay, I think we'll hold on to Sheltered by Ghosts, just in case they've got like a bigger threat. Use our Seam Rip here on the Badger Mole Cub. And I think this turn we're just probably growing our Hired Claw. Well, actually, maybe we've only got 2 creatures. Probably end of turn we just Frontline Rush because it represents 2 2/2s. So that feels a little bit better. Then we can use Shelter by Ghost next turn to clear the way. Yeah, there's the Hydra, which is a major threat. But here we should potentially have lethal. Yeah, down to 6, remove a blocker. Even if they have like Snakeskin Veil, they'd have to tap. And yeah, that should do it. But yeah, so far so good. I think especially like with Izzet Prowess being such a big part of the metagame, just being faster just feels really good. Or at least trying to keep up with them. Okay, no 1-drop, but yeah, happy to keep. A little bit of removal. Can lead out with Voice. This could be the Skeletons deck. Let's see, I guess let's get this down. Since we're no longer running Delcoven Encampment, we can probably just use either red or white here. Doesn't really matter, we've got more white, so let's go for white. Yeah, you definitely want to go Voice here, just in case they've got removal. They won't be able to respond. Okay, not entirely sure what they've got here. Could just be a bluff, but they... trying to think what else they might have. I think with Shelter by Ghosts, I'm not sure what we're playing into. Might have just been a bluff. Okay. Now I'm kicking myself for not blocking. It's a lizard deck or something. Now we can go Searslicer Goblin. I think we're doing okay on life. Could also just play another Voice here. I think I do like the extra body though. Also, they may not block since they see we have Frontline Rush, but I guess they just don't care. Okay, now they can take something else. We are just racing now. Do we want to play a headliner here? If they have like another way of taking our hand, maybe not. I guess let's start with Voice of Victory. Yeah, and I think we've just maybe just push with Voice of Victory here. I think we're going to try to do like a big Alpha Strike next turn. So if they have a way to deal with our hand, we could be in trouble. But I think if they full send, we just take it. Suppose we could block with Voice of Victory. They had a third Thought Stalker. Okay. It's pretty good. Okay, I guess we're just getting in with double voice here and just hoping to draw into something. But yeah, we're definitely losing this race. I think that initial kind of bluff where we didn't block, definitely paying for it now. And I'll just hold the card here just so they're not sure what's up. I suppose like if we draw like exactly Burst Lightning, there is a chance we're supposed to have played this Sacred Foundry. Do we drop to 4? I think we probably trade with one of them. Keep our life total a little bit higher. Yeah, fortunately did not find anything there. Alright, so now they're going to have Cecil, Dark Knight. Hopefully we draw out of this one. But yeah, those Thought Stalker Warlocks really went the distance. Could top deck, potentially. Okay, Hired Claw is good. We're just going to start making Realm of Co tokens, probably. So we could force through damage here. If we were to like full send, block here, take 4, they would take 6. Yeah, not quite enough. Yeah, they're going to have a Cecil. I think we just dropped to 3 here. Going to need an answer for their Cecil. I don't know if we throw like a Otherwise, I guess we could try to just kill their Cecil. So I think if we don't have, like, find an answer to Cecil, we probably just lose. So we could triple block. This is pretty awkward. But I think Cecil is, like, that dangerous that getting... So I don't think we can fight through the lifelink. If they have any removal in hand, like, we're just done. Yeah, that's going to do it. So yeah, I think we punted that one by not blocking the Forsaken Miner the first turn and just fell for the bluff. I was trying to think of like what card they could have had, but I guess there's not that many that are actually played, so that was, I think, the mistake. Because like the Unrequiting Hex is just better than like Stab, so there's not a whole lot of reason that they would play something else. All right, we got mana, we got creatures. Okay, this is an interesting deck. All their lands do damage. Could go for like Hired Claw plus Miner here, but I think we just want to go for some value and get Searslicer Goblin going. This way, if we draw like a 2-drop, we also can like double spell as well. And now we can triple spell, which feels pretty good. Possibly walking into a sweeper, which hopefully they don't have, but I guess I have no idea what they're playing. And now we're setting ourselves up for a pretty nice turn 4 cleanup with Frontline Rush. Like, Searslicer is really good at setting up good Frontline Rush boards. Okay, so maybe just a budget deck. And that should be enough. Okay, we'll give +8/+8 to our Hired Claw. And there we go. All right, 4 and 2, we fight on. Opening hand looks good. We've got 1-drop, 2-drop, a little bit of removal. Up against some version of Izzet. Could be Prowess, could be Izzet Lessons. Guess it's Lessons. So our life total is not as big a deal against this version. I think we just want to get all of these like starting town type things down. Voice is kind of nice unless they have like a way to kill it this turn, just to prevent any kind of counter magic. So they could have like the deal 4, like Ira's Demonstration, or maybe, oh, I suppose they've got Erode? Sure. Get our last other basic. So now we can double Frontline Rush end of turn. This is pretty bad for if they have like Ira's Demonstration, this could be pretty bad. So maybe we just want to do 1, but I guess, okay, so they're Grixis, interesting. Okay, if they want to counter, that's fine. They have a second counter. Okay. And Searslicer feels pretty good. They don't have the mana for No More Lies, so we're happy to play this in tapped. They do have removal of some kind, looks like. Yeah, I think we still go for it, though. It's possible that they have like board wipe on their next turn, but I don't think we can really play around it. So hopefully no deadly cover up here. Okay, I guess that's another one. Four color control. The one downside, we don't have any utility lands, so all land draws here are just going to be basically dead draws. We only have 20 lands in the deck, but there is a decent number we could draw here. Possibly maybe like hold the land just to like pretend like we've got something. And now they can create a 2/4 here. So unfortunately no good attacks. Yeah, Biblioplex is, I think, a nice addition to control decks here. And that should be pretty close to lights out. Yeah, and they've got Inevitable Defeat ready to go here, so I think this one is pretty much done for. All right, so we ended up going, let's see, was it, see what our final record was. 4-3. I think that, you know, possibly could have won the game against the mono black deck. Ended up not blocking when we could have blocked, so potentially could have gone a little bit farther. But yeah, ended up almost breaking even. And yeah, thanks guys for watching. We will see you in the next one. I think I might do maybe a little bit more kind of draft videos. I really like the new set, so anyways, we'll see you in the next one.